All right. All right. Okay, hello everyone. So today we are here with one of our best and most fabulous client, Mary Alfano.
Mhm.
She's a med spa owner based out of Chicago, and we have been working together since I guess like 6 months now.
Yeah.
So pretty long time. She has two locations, and she's been basically a wonderful client to work with as well. So she's here to basically share her experience working with us and basically go over, everything that has to do with, um, running a med spa and the struggles that we face on a day-to-day basis and how we help and what's the part of Pivot Way. So just before we go into any of that, Mary, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here.
No problem.
And so, why don't you start by going over, like, introducing yourself and kind of who you are and how did you start your med spa and how long have you been doing this? So, all
Yeah.
that.
Hi, my name is Marie Alfano. I have two locations just based outside of Chicago, like you have mentioned. My business is I established almost 10 years ago. I was pregnant with my first child when I started my business. My husband thought I was crazy. Um, but I just wanted to, find a way to contribute to my family and do it on my terms without somebody dictating a schedule for me. Um, I had said that like I want to be in charge of when I am able to take off days. Like if my kids have soccer games or a play or whatever the case may be, I wanted to be able to be a part of their lives as much as I could. And a typical 9 to 5 wasn't going to allow that for me. So when I started my business, I was predominantly doing permanent makeup and aesthetics. And I was in a small salon suite. I was there for about 4 years when I decided to move. COVID had hit. My landlord kind of jacked around some of the tenants in terms of rent, and I just was not thrilled with the way he handled it. And at the time, there was some funding available, and I took advantage of it, expanded my business into a two-room practice, and I also had like a small waiting area and a front desk space as well. So I tripled my space and cut my rent by 500 by leaving that salon suite. So, and I was 10 minutes closer to home. So it all kind of just it made sense at the time to expand. And when I did, I brought on another esthetician to help with some of the client flow and kind of got into some med aesthetics at that point too. Brought on a medical director, got a laser, made a lot of mistakes, learned the hard way. And here we are. It's been 6 years. I'm in that space now, so almost 10 years. My lease is coming up for renewal, and I am considering a bigger space.
Hmm.
I think about 3 years ago, I purchased an existing business, which was mostly like waxing and lashes and tinting. And we're in the process still of trying to convert that into a little bit more med spa focused clients rather than that lower ticket item of like that waxing and tinting. So I do also have two nurse injectors working for me now, and they work between both of our locations. And with the most recent campaign that we launched together, it kind of took off and we hit the ground running and we're still running. So yeah, so that's where we are now. We've been doing ads with you for about 6 months, and I think we kind of found, I don't even want to say it out loud because I don't want to jinx it, but I think we kind of found a little bit of a golden ticket here with the current promo we've been running. Um, so
Perfect,
here we
perfect.
are.
Perfect. So yeah, I know that you were a permanent makeup artist when I, did some research when you first onboarded you. But I'm
Yeah,
curious, like, what made you like transition into the medical aesthetics? Because that's kind of a big transition. Because
big jump.
I know because permanent makeup artists they also make a good living. But what made you
Yeah. I
go
mean,
over?
I feel like it's always a struggle to get clients, right? And
Hmm.
especially with permanent makeup, I see somebody once a year. How am I going to like, generate reoccurring revenue with them if I'm not offering other services? And I had run Facebook ads 10 years ago when they were first kind of starting. So I've been playing this Facebook ad thing game a long time and I kind of know how it works a little bit. And it's a constant struggle in permanent makeup to keep bringing on a new person. Sure, you see them, twice in the beginning, but then after that, 12, 18, 24 months sometimes. If I do a really good job, I don't see them for 24 months. So, like that's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not
You wanted repeatability and recurring thing in your
yeah. So
business.
like if I don't have something else to say, hey, I just did your eyebrows, I'll see you in 2 years, I want to bring them back for something else.
Hmm.
And I saw a lot of my clientele was interested in like that medical side of it, right? Everyone's talking about Botox and fillers. So I thought that that would be a good place to kind of expand. I got a laser. We started doing microneedling and peels. And the medical director I had at the time wasn't keen on me bringing on an injector. So we kind of parted ways and I expanded by hiring two of my own injectors now and potentially a third in the future because of the success of these campaigns. I'm also in school to become an injector myself. So there's a lot happening, and I feel like I'm not the kind of person who likes to be stagnant. I always want to be learning and bettering myself. And I feel like bettering my business in a way as well. Um, Aesthetics is forever changing too. So it's like you
Yeah.
can't just if you're not, progressing with the times, you're gonna be left in the dust and doors closed up. So
Yeah, perfect, perfect. So basically, your thing was that I want something predictable and I don't want to, go wake up every month and go hunt for new clients.
sure.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, so why don't you go over like before working with us, what was the main struggle that you had in terms of like is running a business in general and like in terms of getting new people in?
I feel like social media is wonderful, but it's a full-time job. And
Hmm.
I am not of the era who grew up with my face in social media.
Hmm.
MySpace came out when I was younger and it just wasn't something that intrigued me. Facebook was out, all right. Don't get me wrong, I dabble, but I am not a content creator, nor do I want to be. Granted, I've had to be a little bit here in this business and again, learn the hard way, but it's not where I want to spend my time. I feel like as a business owner, there's so many better, more productive things that I could be doing to help grow my business than, sitting in front of a camera, filming content or, like dancing on reels. Like it's not that I take myself too seriously, but I just am not that person.
Yeah,
So that I felt was like a struggle where I feel like the ads are a more predictable source for that. Like we've got a good following on social media, and yes, we do generate leads from there, but it's a drop in the bucket, I guess, in comparison to someone who's clicking on an ad and that they're interested in that service rather than someone just messaging you through Instagram asking you what your prices are. I feel like those social media following doesn't necessarily convert into business the way Facebook leads do. Instagram leads, wherever we're doing our ads for the current promotions that we're running. So,
got it. Got it. So what would you say? Let's say someone is because I talk with a lot of med spas and some of them are starting a new med spa and they have this misconception that hey, let me grow organically. Let me grow on social media first. So
yeah.
since you have been in this game for a very long time, what would you say someone starting out and basically is choosing what to do the first time?
Well, I feel like social media, like you can gain followers from wherever, internationally, locally in your area, across the country, which I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking to do. Are you trying to sell products online or are you trying to sell services in your med spa? For me, I feel like it's harder to target a certain demographic on social media. Finding that ideal client, if you get 100 new followers a week, how many of them are in your backyard where you need them to be in order for them to come spend money with you? Um, you don't know, right? It's a guessing game. It's a roll of the dice. So I feel like more so with if I get 100 new leads from an ad, there's a good chance that 50% of them, maybe less, maybe more, are in my backyard, right? We're targeting them where we want them to be. Some people
Yes.
still come from like I'm outside of Chicago, like west suburbs. I get people who come from like the north suburbs. So they're driving 45 minutes to an hour to come see me. So is it maybe just for that promotion? Sure, but they're still coming to my door, and we have that opportunity to win them over with our personality and charm and good looks. I'm just kidding. Um, but they're willing to travel because we've got a great deal going, and they found us on social media. And also, too, they're clicking a link. It's taking them to a landing page. The landing page is giving them all this information, and it's also helping them book an appointment. So
Hmm.
that I feel like is more valuable than me putting a video out on Instagram. People just scroll. They're not stopping, they're not clicking, they're not engaging with content. They're not messaging me, they're not clicking on my link tree to try and book an appointment.
Hmm.
This converts the social media doesn't necessarily convert the way people hope or people want it to, in my
Yes.
experience, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the main
Still
thing.
valuable, sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
where is my time better spent? I feel
Yes.
like, handling our leads that come in. Granted, you guys take care of a big portion of that, but I love to get in there too because of, 10 years of experience I've got negotiating with these people who come through Facebook and Instagram, I feel like sometimes I get in and I just can have a quick little couple messages with them and I'm saying, and I've got an appointment and then I'll send you a message like, here you go. Let's make sure this person gets on our schedule.
Yeah. And to be honest, we have also learned a lot from you in terms of like booking appointments.
That's
So
good. I love
yeah,
that.
we use the
Yeah,
messages
growing
that you
together.
sent. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so
And I
basically
don't have a
that's
hard, I don't have, I mean, I don't have a problem giving you guys a hard time about it either. Once in a while, I'll be like, hey, get on it. This one's waiting for you, you know, right? You're a part
yes.
of my team the same way the team that's in my office. And I feel like as an owner, as an experienced provider, sometimes you do have to have tough conversations with people you work with,
Yes.
whether it be your ad agency, your staff, your vendors, sometimes you have to have difficult conversations and, if it's beneficial for both of you to improve, then, you know, it's worth it, right?
Yes, of course. That's why I say, thanks for raising my standards whenever we are having
Oh,
that conversation.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Yes.
we do it together. And it's not just I'm depending on you for everything,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
so
it's hard
that's
work, right? Because like here, we're on different sides of the world. So sometimes I'm probably sending you text messages and you're like, I'm sleeping or whatever, vice versa, but I have never experienced it be an issue. So thank you for that.
yes.
Yeah. Sorry if I wake you up.
Yeah, you really don't want to know how I respond to those messages. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, it's the same thing that that we don't have any control over our time when we're doing like social media. We don't know exactly where the lead is gonna come from, and like we
Yeah.
cannot. It's not predictable as well. So
No, and it's hard to track those metrics, I feel
yeah,
like, right? You don't know. Yeah, you could see like how many people can't think of what the word is in social
yeah,
media world.
yeah, it's like the views and the impressions and all that stuff.
Yes, thank you. You can see that, but that to me doesn't really mean
Yeah,
much.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, we cannot control much variables in
Yeah,
that.
the algorithm changes so frequently on social media too.
Yeah,
We don't have
just
any control of that,
yeah, and we also have to keep up with trends as well. So like
Yeah.
if something is working right now, we have to like make a reel about it quickly. So like it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it just becomes very chaotic and not something that is reliable.
Right.
So so about the social media. So now about the ads, because I know you said that you also tried running the ads, and before we started working together, you tried running the ads yourself. You had a couple of marketing agencies that
I've
you
never personally like started ads from like the ground up. Have I turned on and off certain ads that were left over from agencies? Yes. But I don't feel like it does the same. I don't feel like I get the same results out of it. So no, I don't have experience specifically like creating an ad and like I've tinkered with it, but it's so complicated and it's so complex that when you break down the amount of time,
time.
energy, effort to do that,
Yeah,
it really is worth having somebody who knows what they're doing, um, rather than, trying to learn it on your own. Could you? Sure, but I'm also a provider in a room seeing patients. I am a mom. I'm a homeowner. I'm all these things, right? Like mom, wife, homeowner, business owner, like provider. What else, friend? What else can I fit into my day?
yeah, that
Right?
makes
Like
sense. Yes.
I'm a student too. So like would I rather be focusing on the classes that I'm taking right now, or let me try and learn Facebook ads? You know, I think at the end of the day, kind of
Yeah.
stick to what you know. And I'd rather stick to the med spa stuff than the IT
Yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
yeah, so you would rather pay with money than with time. So
Sure.
yeah.
And for certain things, 100%.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So, I know that you have worked with a couple of agencies before. So,
Yeah.
like, can you go over what exactly was it working with them and the kind of like everything, like, the ads they were running, what kind of agencies that you were working with, were the med
Yeah.
spa
There was
specifics?
the one most recent before you was supposed to be like a Fortune 500 company. They were in Inc. magazine, I think it was. I forget what magazine they were in, but they had set up this offer for us and it totally tanked. I don't think they understood the med spa space. They were not managing the leads, which I feel like is huge.
Yes.
I personally don't have a dedicated front desk because it's always just been solo providers. Um, if we had 5 people in the office at one time, yes, I could see like we need somebody running the front desk, but I manage a lot of the incoming myself, or I would have my team, handling their bookings. Um, So for like all these leads you get coming in, if you get 100 new leads a day and no one there to nurture, or, the automation that's set up doesn't convert, it just doesn't make sense to keep spending money with these agencies. I pulled out of a contract with one of them and I was being threatened to be sued. And I was like, listen, I fulfilled a 3-month commitment with you. Things aren't working. And they wanted me for more, and I was like, go ahead, send your attorneys, I don't care. And they never did. Um, I feel like sometimes when they're threatening you with legal action, it's I feel like it's all
Yes.
bullshit. They don't want to invest a ton of money spending money on lawyers and things like that. And if they do,
Yes.
then well, I've got proof now. I've got
Yeah.
proof of you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So contract is void. I don't know. Just agencies usually are a lot of talk and don't back it up with what they say they will.
Yeah. And yeah, and the main reason for that I think is because, for example, if you have a heart problem, would you rather go to a heart specialist or would you rather go to a general surgeon? Like, of course you would go to a
Correct.
heart specialist. So, for somebody who's watching,
Yeah.
we only work with med spas, so that's kind of one of the things. That I wouldn't, boast about myself, but we only work with med spas.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the agency that you were working with was working with other clinics as well, like dentists, maybe chiropractors.
Correct. Yeah, they were working with all kinds of different companies. And I feel like that's important too, as somebody who understands your niche, who understands your industry,
Yes.
and focuses on that, right? Because you have to understand that ROI on a service, you know? So when you're promoting, just how do I want to explain this? When you're promoting the lead or the that service, you need to be able to like bring in the money that pays for the cost of your goods, pays for your team, pays for your ads, pays for your agency. So there's a lot of boxes to check there. Um, and not only has your company mentioned, that specific ad, that specific promotion, you guys have worked with us to develop packages for upselling in the office. And it's so important. And now I feel like my team needs to get on that same page as we're on. I've developed the packages, I've put them in their hands, I've talked to them about having conversations with people. Now we just need the execution and delivery on that. Um, so it's either going to be like another training session with the team, or we're going to start looking elsewhere for providers who are willing to have those kind of conversations, right? Like I said, having hard conversations with your team, with your marketing guy, with whoever it is. So I know that like when I'm in a treatment room with somebody, I don't mind dropping a hint about, hey, here's this amazing package that we have. Make sure that you get a chance to take a look at this today, right? So it's not just a transaction. You want people for transformations.
Mhm. Yes, perfect. And like if you talk about so the packaging thing is really important because at the end of the day, the main thing that we want is that we want to make money,
Yeah,
like we make a positive ROI, and it doesn't matter if you get like 50 patients, but if they're worth nothing, then it
right.
doesn't matter if you're breaking even or worse, going negative.
Yeah. Right.
So
That's the thing too, like we've run some retargeting campaigns, right? Because like you said, we've been together, working together for like 6 months. The current promotion that we're working on, we've gone back after 2 months and we've sent those clients another message, said, hey, I know you missed
yes.
out on that, first offer. We're doing it again. Hey, come on in. Um, and I love that like you're willing to jump in and like take part in my ideas. And, it's not just you set up an ad and you're kind of checking off a box and you're done. You help with other things as well. So that's
Yes.
great.
And if you talk about like the ROI, in terms of
Mhm.
like when you work with the other agencies that you said,
Oh yeah,
how many
it was negative.
patients it was
We
negative?
were negative on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you lose money, and I feel like with a lot of the agencies, they are looking for a super high price tag on their fee, and they want to spend a lot in ad spend. Um, and a lot of times they don't want to hear about my budget. They just say it's going to take X amount of dollars every day. I'm like, well, that's not what I want to spend. So let's work on something that's going to get leads at a lower dollar price, dollar amount. And you've been flexible with us on that too. So it's appreciative. Um, Even here, like this week, we got spring break. My nurses are out of town. I'm like, Range, turn the ads off. I need a break. Because it's a lot nurturing those leads too, right? Where
yes,
yes, we've got automations set up, but sometimes people come back with questions that like we're not anticipating. We had somebody with bee sting allergy, and she was worried about um, if she had an adverse reaction to filler or if there was a vascular occlusion, the product you use to dissolve that filler mimics the venom of a bee sting.
yes,
So is my automation going to take care of that? No, that's something that I need to personally handle. And I want to handle personally. I want that person to know that like, hey, I'm invested in you. You're not just getting my automated messages, but like I actually care if, you get that correct answer.
Yes.
And we've worked together on that too. You've texted me and said, hey, Jenny has a question about, you know, lip filler. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, no problem. I'll get in and take care of it. There's even been some questions that, sometimes our front desk can manage, which we do have a front desk person, now, but we didn't previously. Um, so there's a lot of teamwork that happens.
Yes.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I got off a tangent. I don't know what that question was about, but
Yeah, so basically the question was, like what was the ROI and how many patients you
oh,
generated with
yeah,
the past agencies. But yeah, it's very important to note that, nurturing is a really important part, and most of these leads they just go unnoticed, and like they forget, we forget, and like it's a lead wasted. So it's really
yeah,
important we take that into account and basically respond to them. So
yeah.
yeah, so yeah. So so you were basically burned by these agencies before, and then you talked with us. What was so?
But I've had some good experiences with agencies in the past too, but I feel
Mhm.
like they were very um one service. They focused
Yes.
on one treatment and they actually were local. They would come in and help run sales promotions. So they
Hmm.
actually like came in and helped perform treatments. And they would sell packages to the clients and it
Hmm.
worked great. But how many times can you run the same campaign before your database gets burned out, right?
Yes.
So we did 2 or 3 events with them. And by the time we got to that third event, it was like, well, everybody's already kind of seen this promotion. I think we kind of just overdid it.
Yes.
So, there's been a lot of trial and error
Hmm.
in my experience with whether it be with ads or social media, organic, trying to do like email marketing. I don't know about you, but I feel like ever since Gmail kind of separated things in the email space, you have a promotions folder, your social
Yes.
folder, and then your main inbox.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many emails are in my promotions folder. I usually just go in and delete everything.
Yeah, me too.
And email campaigns, I barely get anything that opens anymore. So it's almost like, well, I'm not wasting my time with that anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't
And
know what other businesses feel as far as I kind of would be interested to see some statistics on that if anybody has success with email campaigns anymore.
I mean, I don't think so because like I never told you to do that because I don't think that it works as well as the text campaigns
Sure.
that we do.
Yeah.
The text is
I
more
feel more so like
personalized.
we update our website with like a blog post. We try to do it weekly or monthly if we can, just to keep ourselves relevant in like that Google algorithm, right? Because
Yes.
you keep putting your content on your website. I feel like that can be a little more helpful. But now they're
Yes.
also, I keep hearing this talk that SEO is not what it used to be anymore. So here we are again
Yeah. I mean,
with another form of like marketing that
yes.
people are losing out on. So,
I mean, I think in my opinion, I guess all the acquisition channel works. But it's just that like which one is more predictable and which one you can build fast. And ads are is something basically you can start and run and like get patients like tomorrow. So like that's the most
sure.
predictable way to do it. And but long term, if you see like SEO and social media, they can also be a really good way to get new patients and predictably. But it takes a very long time to build that. And
Yeah,
while you are building it, it's really important that we have some sort of way to get new patients on a consistent basis. So I guess
correct.
that's where ads actually help you. So yeah, that's perfect. And
I agree too. And it definitely depends on your market, right? Like where
yes,
you're located. We are in a really great space, both of my locations. There's people everywhere. So I don't have to worry that like I'm out in the middle of the country that it's going to be hard for me to find people. But um, text marketing has been a big thing too, but it can also cost a lot of money. It can cost me $300 to get through my database.
yes.
with a text message that maybe converts, I don't know,
One,
5 to 10 people,
yes.
depending on what we're marketing.
Yeah, we see like 1 to 2% on average from text campaigns.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. So let's go over. So you have worked with these agencies before, and when I talk with a lot of med spas, they have this concern that hey, I have been burned by these agencies before,
Yeah.
and you, I remember you basically signed up on the first call. So like, what made you decide to move forward and work with us?
Well, I definitely think it was like your introductory offer in the beginning. It was like, I think it was like you were doing a free month.
Yes,
Yeah, and you were willing to prove yourself. So figured, why not? Let's see what this guy's got, right? Give him a shot. He's going to do it for nothing. Okay. And when I saw that your ads were converting, you were capable and willing to work with me on several things. Um, I said, well, then also you had a second offer that again converts, right? So
yes,
it's the same in my position. You're in sales, you're selling your business. I'm in sales, I'm selling my business. So um yeah, like the conversion worked, like the offer, you know. Um so yeah, I guess it was worth it for us.
yes,
And you weren't pushing me to do something that I I had a good feeling about what we were doing to begin with. I knew it was an offer. I think we were promoting GLP-1s in the beginning.
yes,
It was an offer that worked, right? It
yes,
made sense for me. I did the numbers and I said, okay, after I spend X amount of dollars here, X amount of dollars here, I'm still going to come up with a profit. It's going to only take me, I don't know, 5 people in order to cover my expenses, right?
yes,
Uh, and I felt confident that we could hit those numbers. And GLP-1s are not one-time clients, right?
yes,
They need to be on medication for several months, not just, well, let me come in January and I'm just going to try it and see how I like it. Sorry, honey, it don't work like that, you know?
yes,
Um, so for us, we did very well. I think we had like a 95% conversion rate into memberships. Um, which I think it might not be a bad idea to do that again one of these days. Because here now we're in March and we've been together for about 6 months. So some of those people who have started with us 6 months ago have tapered off because they've
yes,
lost weight and wanted to stop taking the medication, which is understandable. And people should take a break from GLP-1s. They're not meant to be like, lifelong medication. So,
yeah, that
um,
makes.
yeah, the ad worked for us and the ROI was there.
Mhm.
So when we've got a campaign that does well and you're profitable at the end of the day, then it makes sense. But I felt like so many of the other agencies that I was working with um we weren't profitable at the end of the day. I'd have this big credit card bill of Facebook ads and the bank account was empty. It's like, well, this does not work. Right? So
Yes,
um it needs to make sense for everybody. It can't just be like a money grab, you know?
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And fast forward to now, 6 months in, like, is the result exactly the same, or like they improved, or like what's actually changed for you?
Well, I feel like we're definitely hitting a stride. We're getting things running smoother. Um, and we're making improvements, right? We've got a new ad that we've been running for the past 3 months. It's doing very well.
Yes,
We do little tweaks here as the season kind of changes, but it's been working well for us. And my staff is happy, they're booked, they're busy. Um, Internally, we're struggling with people coming back for follow-ups after they've done a lip filler, which is what our ad is for. But that's something we're trying to figure out. and incentivize our people like, hey, you're having a medical procedure done. We'd like to see you in 2 weeks just to make sure that everything looks great. But also, we want that second opportunity to get to know somebody to convert them into something else. So, um, from a business standpoint, we've had quite a few no-shows on those follow-up visits.
Hmm.
But I think what we want to try and do is hold that $25 deposit or get a credit card on file in order to ensure that they're going to come back for their follow-up visit.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's another thing too, that like when we first started working together, you were like, well, the ads are going to run so much better if people don't have deposits, right? And I pushed you. I pushed you. I says, we're gonna get it with deposits
Yes.
because people on Facebook or Instagram or social media world, trying to think of a nice way to say this, they're just disrespectful. They don't value your time because it's almost like they don't feel like you're real, right? Because it's just clicking on a
Yeah.
computer. Like, some
Yes.
people are the keyboard warriors and they want to make rude comments about stuff. They have no regard for no showing an appointment when there's no skin in the game. I can't remember our statistics. I'm sure you could look them up for those no shows in the beginning when
Yeah.
you're running. So you're like, trust me, please, we'll get more. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a shot. But it kept happening. And I said,
Yes.
range, absolutely not. Because from a business standpoint, I've got to pay a nurse who doesn't make minimum wage, clearly, right?
Yes.
Hourly for her to be there. And then if we've got 3 people who no show 30-minute appointments, that's an hour and a half that I've brought in $0 and now I'm paying her salary, right?
Yes.
Where does that money come from? Because the tree out front of, my house over here, the money on the tree is like empty. So I don't know where I get that money. So like
Yes.
at least when we're collecting a very small deposit, right? We're collecting $25.
Yes.
It's not going to scare somebody away on Facebook, right? Because I'm not asking them for 100. I'm not asking them for 500. It is literally less than 10% of the cost what they're going to spend when they come in. If you can't give me $25 to guarantee your appointment, then I don't need you as a patient or as a client. Like, go because you're going to be the person that wastes my time.
Yes.
I've learned that absolutely 100% the hard way. I've tried it both ways. Every ad person tells me don't worry about a deposit. And every single
Yes.
time I end up
Yes.
coming back and saying, nope, I'd rather have 20 people with paid deposits than 100 people with no deposits.
Yes.
'Cause I know they're
And
coming in.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
I know they are.
the show rate goes like through the roof when we collect the deposit.
Yeah.
And after you like we implemented it to like every single client and
Yeah.
it,
And
it,
it's
it
all about the wording too, right? I feel
yes.
like when I went back and I wrote that paragraph and I just said, hey, I have a spot saved for you. We
Yes.
do require $25 deposit upfront just to hold your reservation, right? Because you go to a hotel, you have to make a reservation. They charge your credit card before you even get there.
Yes.
$25 to hold your reservation. It's applied towards your visit. Um, it just helps us prevent no-shows. Wink. Um, let me know when you've taken care of that so I could lock in your spot, right? I feel like
Yes.
it's all about wording.
Yes.
Because if you just say, oh, we need a $25 deposit to make your appointment, people are going to be like, I don't know, right?
Yes. Yeah, like it's almost like when we give them a reason, it makes sense for them to pay that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have we had people fight back on it? 100%. I've had 2 or 3 people. One of them says, well, I'm going to pay cash when I get there. That's fine. You can pay me in cash, but you still owe me $25 or I am not reserving a spot for you. And that's where I get in because I have no problem being the aggressor in the conversation, right?
Yes.
Um, and being firm and just being like, I'm sorry, we don't operate that way. Our policy is XYZ. And I'm reserving 45 minutes of my nurse's time for you. The $25 doesn't even cover my expenses. I don't tell people this, but the $25 doesn't even cover my expenses for 45 minutes of my nurse's time. It doesn't, right? She makes more than that. So if they can't put a little bit of skin in the game, then I don't want them. They're proving to me that they're a no-show risk. They're not serious.
Yes.
They're probably not going to be a repeat customer anyways.
Yes.
Clear out the weeds,
Yeah,
right?
and yeah,
I mean,
and I understand why a lot of advertiser might say that, hey, the ads would work better without deposit, because what we measure success on is like appointments, and if you
mhm,
don't like book like get the deposit, booking appointments is
yeah,
really easy. Like you can book a
yeah.
hundred appointments
But I
and
also think too, as like an agency, you should be saying like, we're getting you bookings with a deposit, right?
yes,
Because that's an incentive for me to want to work with you. It's because, oh,
yes,
he's getting deposits. It's not just 100 bookings. I'd rather take 20 good bookings with a paid deposit than 100
yes,
here. I mean, and from a standpoint of a clinic or working with 100 different ad agencies before, I feel like people are skeptical of 100 bookings because they think that they're fake leads.
yes,
That's out there. It happens, right? They're AI leads, they're robot generated leads. No wonder our no-show rates are so high because you have scammers like that who do things like that and take
yes,
funds and take agency money. Um, and they say, well, we got you 100 bookings. Well,
yes,
12 people showed up, you know? It doesn't make
yes,
sense if people aren't showing up. So, and I think we've done way better since that deposit kicked in.
yes, yes, way better. I think we got like I don't know, like in 2 months, how many? In 1 month, we got like 100 patients from
Yeah.
that campaign.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. I know definitely there were 70 in the first,
2, 3 weeks.
I think that was like 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
And
flat. Yes.
right. My one injector, I think she literally had a head count going. Like she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this many lip fillers in a month. I was like, well, you're doing great. Keep going. Um, and she's been doing great. And we have a ton of positive reviews that are coming in through like our follow-up messages with clients because our nurses follow up with people too, also like 24 hours in advance, or I'm sorry, 24 to 48 hours after their appointment. We just want to send out a quick text. Hey, how you going? How's it doing? I can't talk anymore. Hey, how you doing? Everything feeling and looking okay at this point, you know? Um, because just for like patient safety too, like just to make sure that they're not having any kind of adverse reaction. Um,
Yes.
and the response, people are like, oh my gosh, I love my lips. I have, I mean, just tons and tons of compliments. And we're getting reviews from people, we're getting referrals from people. So that's what we want. We want
Yeah.
word of mouth, we want referrals. And we reward our patients as well. When they do give us referrals, they get a $50 credit to use towards another service. Um, so it's fantastic.
Yes. And I believe that it's important that we like not just like when new patient comes in from ads, it's really important that they come again. So yeah, referral absolutely helps us to do
Yeah,
that and basically make the patient worth more.
sure.
So I guess we have pretty much gone over most of the things. The last question would be if someone is watching this and basically they're a med spa owner, they're struggling to get a consistent patient flow. They have maybe tried ads or aid agencies before and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And they are on the fence about working with us. Like what would you say to them?
I feel like you've definitely changed my mind about working with an ad agency. I feel like I've found the right one. I think your understanding of the industry also is helpful and willingness to work with me when I come up with a crazy idea or I'm struggling with something. Like here the other day, I called you because I had a problem with something in my go high level and you were more than willing to help me. So I appreciate your going that extra mile for me and my business. and just proving to me why I should keep working with you, right? Like there's been some hurdles and we've gotten over every single one of them and we both are stronger and better for it. So, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yes.
like the value in your service is different than what I've seen with other companies before. So,
Yeah, and also I have one more question. So like when you started working with us before that, I know that we basically make goals based on what we think is possible. So
yeah.
do you
Gosh, I don't
think,
even remember that.
yeah, so do you think you have had any changes in terms of what you think is possible after working with us?
Um, I don't know. I don't remember what I said was possible before. No, I do. I do because when I first brought you on, my one of my injectors was a new hire. She was just getting started with us and she took off and her schedule has been booked and busy and she's killing it. She's doing great right now. I think she's actually kind of happy to have a quieter week because we paused our ads for a week while spring break, but
Yes.
I know we turned them back on, so that won't take very long before it gets things going again here. But yeah, I mean, she is doing amazing. Her sales are awesome. She's bringing in new referrals. She is converting people not just from lip filler, but they're also coming back and getting Botox done. So yeah, so it's going really well.
Perfect, perfect. All right, so I really appreciate your time
Yeah,
and everything that you shared. I hope for someone who's watching this, it will help you basically make the decision, or it should help you clear any doubts you might have about us, med spas, the ads, and ad agencies and all this stuff. So
yeah,
yeah, I really appreciate you for this, and yeah, thanks.
no problem.